Shout out to Chargers Unleashed, Sebastian Joseph Day. You know the vibes, we outside.
You're listening to the Chargers Unleashed podcast with your host, Dan Wolkenstein and Jake Hefner.
Welcome to another edition of Chargers Unleashed. Jake Hefner and Dan Wolkenstein here with you from the LAFB Network. Today's show, of course, is being brought to you by BUSR, Charger Bolt Family, and Rock Solid Sports Memorabilia. If this is your first time tuning into the show, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Dan Wolkenstein, six short days away from the commencement of your NFL regular season for your Los Angeles Chargers, going up week 1 versus the Las Vegas Raiders. It is this close. We are literally that close to the return of Chargers football officially now. Dan, I'm ready.
It feels good, right? It feels good. I got sweaty palms. I'm super excited, ready to go. We have football this week, and it's real football that counts to records. And Chargers fans, Chargers players, they've got a little bit of chip on their shoulders considering how the last season ended. So, Jake, what better way than to bring in someone who has had a glow up from first year to second year? You saw him glow up during training camp, during preseason. Went from, string bean to asparagus. Mr. Chris Rumph is joining us on Chargers Unleashed. We'll get to talk about all kinds of things, including some of the superstars, his glow up from year 1 to year 2, expectations going up against the Raiders, coaching staff, you name it. And of course, Jake, we got to go into the hot takes cold beer. But first, Jake, over or under 3.5 points is a spread currently for Chargers versus Raiders. Chargers are 3.5 points favorites. Over or under? Which one are you taking? We haven't even gotten to the preview episode. I'm going right into this.
No. Look, this is going to be a much more competitive game, I think, than what people are giving it credit for. You know, yes, you have the additions of Devontae Adams on the Raiders. Yes, you know, if Darren Waller ends up playing and Hunter Renfrow, I mean, that on paper, that could be a legitimate offense to have to contend with. And then you think about, is J.C. Jackson going to be able to make the start for week 1 for the Chargers? What's this defense going to look like coming out to fire on the cylinders that we hope that they would start with? You know, there are holes.
Jake's
on both
over here
sides.
stalling. Jake's stalling.
There are holes on both sides of the ball here for both teams. But Dan, you know, there's still that saltiness. You know, Brandon Staley's just had this game circled probably before the schedule was released. He probably just told me, he's like, we got who on week 1? Okay, good to know. Good to know. Like, we're going to go for it. So I got a feeling that Brandon Staley's got a little bit extra sauce for this one. So I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say that the Chargers are actually going to, not by much more. I say they'll win by 7.
Woo! Okay, so you're going the over. All right, talk to us about good friends at BUSR.
Yes, guys, we'll definitely want to remind all of you that right now, one of the biggest and best ways to get your sports betting in is over at BUSR. If you have not looked them up yet, they just have everything as it relates to sporting bets, as far as whatever your speed is for whatever sport you preference. As far as futures go, as far as prop bets go, especially with the commencement now of the college football season and the NFL regular season just around the corner, make sure to go on over to BUSR, use the promo code Unleashed. And what they are doing right now for their promos, anywhere from $100 to $1,000 deposit, they are automatically matching for new customers. So make sure that you go over there to BUSR, tell them Chargers Unleashed sent you, and make yourself some money.
Free money. They're literally giving you free money to go bet on stuff. Bet the over. You're not, I mean, this is my personal opinion. I'm betting the over. Jake, all right, without further ado, Mr. Chris Rumph himself joins Chargers Unleashed. Super excited. Again, we're going to talk hot takes, cold beer. If you have not already gone to the LAFB Network shop, you can use the code Unleashed, get 25% off all of the swag, whether it's the 4th and Staley, whether it's going to be the rally towels, whether it's the hot takes, cold beer, you name it. Go to LAFB Network shop, use the code Unleashed, get 25% off. All right, Jake, without further ado, Chris Rumph, Chargers Unleashed, coming up next. All right, NFL season is just days away. We're so close. Chargers taking on the Raiders week 1. Preseason training camp is over. Next stop, week 1. Your defensive lineman for your Chargers, one of the most improved players during camp and preseason. Wearing the number 94 like the Bulls, the diamond in the rump himself, Chris Rumph, joins us on Chargers Unleashed. Chris, thanks so much for hopping on. How are you?
I'm good, man. I appreciate y'all having me, Dan and Jake. Another great Sunday morning. I'm ready to get it started with this interview.
Yes, sir.
Let's go. So we're going to get into all kinds of stuff. We're going to get into kind of your glow up going from year 1 to year 2. Obviously, we'll talk about this defense going up against week 1 Raiders. We'll talk about all kinds of stuff. And at the end, of course, you got to get into hot takes, cold beer. Oh, yeah. But just to kind of kick it off here, Chris, this defense on the Chargers has so many new pieces compared to your rookie year. So far, either during camp or preseason, like what tangible or tactical differences have you seen on the defensive side of the ball? I mean, you got like Khalil Mack, J.C. Jackson, Kyle Van Noy, Austin Johnson. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Like, what tangible differences have you seen this year versus last?
You can tell the difference in the amount of years these guys have played. Just being able to hear the talking on defense and the communication, not only on the field but in the meeting rooms. I mean, it's incredible how much knowledge these guys have. So hearing that kind of difference and just picking up that stuff, especially as a young guy, just giving me that head start before everybody else is invaluable.
Now, Chris, you were one of the standouts during preseason and camp, and it's well known how you got bigger this offseason, which has obviously stood out early in your play. What were some of the things that you took away for yourself personally from last year, and what are some of the things that you hope to accomplish this year?
Last year, I've said multiple times, I wasn't very confident. I didn't play like myself like I did in college and, hitting the same moves and just getting off the ball like I used to. So, coming into this offseason, working out, and then getting into training camp and preseason, the main difference is just my confidence is knowing I can do this stuff. I'm back balling like how I was supposed to my first year. And, the added weight and strength is definitely an attribute to my confidence as well. So just having all that come together and then being able to learn from Joey and Khalil and kind of figure out, who I am as a pass rusher. Gift Smith has done a great job as well. All that coming together is, what you've seen on the field, the product.
Yeah, real quick, I do have to ask, like you mentioned the confidence. Like, what was it about last year that kind of took away the confidence for you? Like, what was the difference in mindset?
I wouldn't say, not believing in myself, but just being comfortable playing in the NFL. I think I look at that like a freshman year high school or college, where, you're just trying to get your feet wet. Obviously some guys, come in and, make amazing plays, like Micah Parsons and all those guys. But everybody has a different path. So I think that's where last year was for me, just kind of, feeling myself, feeling what works, what's not going to work. And that, was what happened last year. So coming in this year is, different. I'm more technical. I know what to expect from these guys now, and I'm more comfortable.
A second ago, you mentioned Mac, Bosa, obviously a lot of turnover that's really kind of changed this whole edge room. If you include guys like Kyle Van Noy, Morgan Fox in there as well. What sort of identity do you think that your group is looking to establish? Talk to us about how you guys are able to complement one another.
Yeah, definitely. I think the identity that we want to see as a defense is just a very physical and tough defense. Especially coming off last year where we didn't, do very well against the run. We kind of want to establish our identity that, hey, you're not just going to run through us. We're going to stop you. We're going to stonewall you. We're going to get the third down, rush a passer, and get off the field.
And what about like the edge group specifically? Like I know now with Mac and Bosa, they're together along with you, Kyle Van Noy potentially. Like what was the edge group identity looking like as you go to week 1?
Oh, it's dominate. It's dominate every play. We know what we got in the room, the talent, the production, especially, with those two guys I mentioned before. So being able to have those guys in front of you and then myself being hungry, I think everybody in that room just wants to, go out week 1 and stop all the talk. We're done with all, this team has talent, blah, blah, blah. We're ready to show week 1 and go play against somebody else. Now
you've got superstars in your position group alone. Obviously, Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack. But then you add that to the likes of like Derwin James, J.C. Jackson, Sebastian Joseph Day, and that's just a defense. Then you add, Justin Herbert, Austin Eckler, Keenan Allen. Like, talk to us about, you mentioned a little bit earlier, but kind of double clicking on this. Like, talk to us about what you've learned specifically from some of those superstars, some of those A players, and and how important that is to having on a team when you're so young.
Yeah, I think the main thing I take away from those guys is, how to be a professional and be one of the great professionals. Each one of those guys that you mentioned have, great habits. They're always working in practice. They're very technical and very hard on themselves. And they love to play football. And so with all that combined, their intelligence, their IQ for how long they've been in the league, it really shows to how deep and intense our defense can be this year with those guys leading us.
We've heard Brandon Staley kind of talk about like the importance of kind of establishing a mindset and a culture, and especially against the run. That's why they went out and got Khalil Mack. Like, talk to us about him specifically. Like, what has he brought to this team or to the defensive line that maybe the team was missing last year, and how important is that for you guys?
Yeah, last year we didn't stop the run very good. We had some great players, but it was the first year in the defense. So, with the guys that we brought in, like Sebastian, Austin, Morgan, those guys have, proven they can stop the run up front and rush the passer. So, having all of that combined, with the edge rushers that we have, I think the mentality that we have is more, just get after people. I mean, dominate them. I'm telling you, that's like the whole mindset that we have across the whole defense. We're coming at you. We're going to hit you in your mouth. We're going to keep coming and coming and coming.
Let's go. Okay, so we had you on the show last year, and we could tell how excited you were to get the season started. We saw how 2021 ended with that Week 18 loss. What's your excitement or feelings headed into this season compared to last season? Like, is there differences in that at all? Like, what's the mindset this year versus last year?
I think as a competitor, your mindset is, to go win every game. The same cliche sayings. But for real, I feel like everybody kind of knows what we have, and everybody doesn't want to say anything because at the end of the day, talk is cheap. So I feel like after week one, when we come out and we understand what type of team we are, I think that's when you're going to start seeing the steps progressively come, week after week after week.
And Chris, you had touched on it just a second ago as far as building up your confidence. One of the biggest differences going between last year to this year. We've obviously seen the difference in you from a size standpoint. So you definitely put on the work physically, but just from your own mentality, as far as the work that you've put in, what would you say is the biggest aspect that you could really just say, that's what I went after, that's what I accomplished this offseason?
Oh, definitely my strength. Hitting the weight room, I promise you. I think I took legit 2 weeks off after from the day of the Raiders game till when I started back my off-season training. I had a chip on my shoulder because I was watching film. I didn't like the way I played. I was very upset with myself. So I was very, very adamant about, hitting the weight room. Whenever I don't want to do this stuff, I got to do it because I know, they always say hard work pays off. And I think that was the main thing I wanted, to keep true in my heart, because I was like, I promise you, I was like, look, if I suck this year, I'm done working out. I'm not working out ever again. I'm going to try calisthenics or something else. But
Chris going to yoga.
I'm going to yoga. I'm doing whatever. Yeah. But after, having an okay training camp in my eyes, it kind of let me know, hey, this stuff is paying off. You can do this now. You can be an impact player. You can be the player that you want to be.
And then with Coach Hill and Coach Smith coming in there, sending a message to the edge group, to the defensive line. Obviously, I know that there was a lot to improve on from last year, but overall, what's been the biggest message that's been sent from them to the rest of you guys?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's just, trusting your technique and do your job. I mean, nobody has to be superhero. We got, amazing talent everywhere on the field. So as long as we, dominate our 1% of the play, and let everybody else do their jobs as well, that's all we have to do. And then, with Coach Giff, it's, I love Coach Giff. He's just always talking about, going forward, running through people's face, getting those one-on-one pass rushes and winning them on a consistent basis. And, that's what separates the good from the great.
So we've seen a lot of folks at camp preseason, balling out. We've seen all the mic'd up videos, which are hilarious, by the way. Thank you for doing those. Talk to us about some of your favorite memories, things that stood out to you during camp preseason. What are the highlights of either your play or the team from this training camp preseason?
Definitely, I have to say the rookie show, the rookie show that we had a couple weeks ago.
All right, do tell.
I'm not gonna go into.
You gotta tell. You gotta tell.
I've been dying for some rookie show.
You can. How about this? You can make up names for things that people do. Instead of Zion Johnson, be like Shmayan Schmonson.
Or Player X, something like that.
But it was just funny to see, the guys try to finagle their way out of singing. Guys would try to come up in groups, and then that was not going with the vets at all. So I remember specifically there was this one time there was a group that was going to go up and sing, and we completely obliterated their plan. They're like, no, you got to do solo. So they're in the corner sweating, looking at their phones, listening to it, trying to memorize lyrics. It was hilarious. Some guys just made up songs on the spot. So I think that definitely was the highlight for me of camp. It's just hanging out with our teammates. And then we got some intense, 2K matches in the locker room as well.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. Give us a glimpse, no names, but give us a glimpse on some of the songs that were sung.
I know Big Papa was one.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there was one.
Nice.
Somebody just made up a song, like I mentioned. I don't even know the name of it, but it was pretty entertaining. I think that was it. And then somebody sung I Write Sins, Not Tragedies. I'll let you decide.
Okay.
I'm not going to give you who sang it. I'll let y'all figure it out.
That's okay.
I'll tell you.
All right. We're not going to let you get out of here without talking about week 1. Las Vegas Raiders coming into town. From your perspective, what are some of the keys to the game for the defense, for the team? Like, what do you guys need to do to get out of there with a win?
Honestly, we just got to come out and play our defense, play our offense, our special teams. Everybody has to play as one. Last year there were a couple of times where, in games we didn't, play as a complete, offense, defense, and special teams. So I think our main focus is coming into this game, doing our job, having faith and trusting our teammates to do theirs as well, and go out and dominate and have fun. It's week 1, prime time on CBS. What else can you ask for? And, a little bit of payback for last year.
Yeah, just a little bit. There's no salt, not at all.
Yeah. Let's be honest now. Everybody still has that in the back of their head. We're not going to lie.
Yep. Awesome. All right, so we're talking to Chris Rumph. All right, you ready, Chris? We're about to hot takes, cold beer.
Oh, yeah, I've been waiting. I want to do this.
All right, so here we go. So again, hot takes. Hot means that you agree. Cold beer. Cold means that you disagree. Feel free to elaborate however you'd like. We'll go ahead and get into some questions here, get your feelings on some of these topics. All right, first one. We've seen your teammate, Sebastian Joseph Day, be a big hype guy for you, especially through the preseason.
Mm-hmm.
Always has a smile on his face.
Mm-hmm.
Seems to have a great chemistry with the team already. Hot takes, cold beer. Sebastian Joseph Day is the funniest player on the team.
Ooh. I can't. There's so many. I can't. I'm gonna go. There's a tie. I'll give him a tie. Is there like a lukewarm? Let's go lukewarm.
There's a lukewarm.
Who's he tied with?
I'm not gonna lie, Brandon Fajoko's pretty funny.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah, like the stuff you don't see is the stuff that I'm thinking of that came to my head. It's just that guy's hilarious. We got so many funny guys on the team. I think that's what makes it special, is that we have all these guys just being themselves.
And real quick on Brandon Fajoko, how cool is the story for him? Like to see him coming back on the team. Like, talk to us about like what he's brought to the team now, making a 53-man roster. Like, what difference does he make?
Yeah, you see the work he put in, especially last year. The games that he was elevated in. He balled out and did what he was supposed to. And then, as a guy, as a character, we all love him. So just seeing him, from where he came, as an undrafted guy, and then finally making him 53. We're all so happy for him, and we expect him to make some big plays now.
That's a great story. So let's go from Brandon Fajoko to another one of your teammates. Joey Bosa has been a very, let's call it, special mentor to you throughout your young NFL career. Obviously, he said that he's officially graduated from string bean to asparagus. Saw the clip from the mic'd up where you're asking him for the seeds, and he says he has none for you. I'd just like to know what seeds you're asking about. But hot takes, cold beer. Is Joey Bosa going to have to graduate Chris Rumph's asparagus name to the next level by the end of the season?
Hot takes.
Yes.
hot. We're done with we're just gonna be done with vegetables from now on. Okay? No more vegetable nicknames.
Chris is gonna be like, I'm a ribeye steak. That's what I'm gonna be. I love that.
Yeah, man, no, we got to get away from that. We got to get away from that.
I love it. So we know that there are some big anime fans on this team. We've seen Joey Bosa do the anime celebrations. Hot takes, cold beer. Chris Rumph is the biggest anime fan on the team.
Ooh, I'm gonna go cold. I love anime, but I'm not on some of the level that these guys like. These guys read the mangas. I don't read the mangas. I just watch shows. So I give respect to anybody who can to read the mangas and watch the shows. You got it. I'll give it to you.
So who is the biggest anime fan on the team?
JT Woods is a big anime fan. Joey's obviously one of them. Emeke was one of them too as well. I gotta give him a shout out. Who else? And then everybody else has just got kind of like where I am. Like we watch the shows. We watch, Naruto, Jujutsu, Black Clover, all those type of shows. So that's why I'm kind of at.
Got it.
Yeah.
Nice. Now, it's been well documented that you got one of the more diverse taste in music on the team. Not as diverse as Brennan Fehoko does, but because of your music diversity, does Chris Rumph get the first right privilege to have the aux in the locker room?
You know what? No, they don't, and I'm kind of upset about that because they hate on my music. I'm a person that I don't like playing the mainstream music that I hear on the radio all the time anyway. So I'm kind of the guy that's gonna go like on YouTube, click on the song, and then go down the rabbit hole of the underground song. So that's what I listen to. And then some people don't appreciate it. Josh Palmer, I'm not gonna say any names, but yeah, I got a little bit of beef with that. That's all I'm gonna say.
Nice.
So,
Following up on that though. Okay, so who does have, would you say, the number one spot for the aux right now?
I mean, honestly, it's either DJ on the aux or DJ on the aux. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, he wins by default.
Nice.
Oh, I love it. Now, question for you, last one. Family, trust, respect.
Okay.
Those are 3 words you hear all the time. Is that the correct order for prioritization of your motto in life? Family, trust, respect. Hot takes, cold beer.
It's it's kind of the same. For me, it's faith, family, football. So that's kind of, it's the southern part of it. That's a southern motto. But I'll say that's a hot take. I'll say it's hot take.
Let's go. Chris Rumph II joining us on Chargers Unleashed. Chris, thank you so much for joining us, man. This has been super fun.
Oh, yeah.
You're off the hot seat. Okay. Anything else you want to tell the great friends of Chargers Unleashed LAFB Network before we get you out of here?
Love all you guys. This is the greatest show. Y'all continue to support these guys, and we'll continue to come on. I love y'all both, fam.
Chris, thank you so much. Chris Rumph will be starting number 94 with the Las Vegas Raiders game coming up in 1 week. Chris, thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
We're so close. Chargers Unleashed, Jake Hefner, Chris Rumph, and Dan Wolkenstein. We'll talk to you next time on Chargers Unleashed.